Welcome to JSA TV, where we're covering the latest news, trends, and innovations from thought leaders from within the digital infrastructure space. I am Dean Perrine, and we are coming at you live. That's right, Vishnu. We are coming at you live from PTC 2026 in beautiful Honolulu, Hawaii. And my new best friend to my right, who is going to be on my O'Hare, Honolulu to O'Hare, Chicago
Looking
flight.
forward to it.
Yes, as am I. Is Mr. Vishnu Barran. Vishnu is the Associate Sales Director at Clarke Energy. Vishnu, welcome to JSA TV.
Thank you very much for having us. We appreciate being part of this event, and we wanted to say our appreciation, or give our appreciation to PTC for putting on a stunning event that's been amazing for networking, innovation, and what a great location, right?
Yeah, let's talk about that, because like you and I, we had a quick conversation prior to jumping on camera here about the event itself and about the size and about the people and kind of this ecosystem that we're all kind of a part of, and how PTC ultimately is kind of bringing us all together. That has never been more apparent and more fruitful for me. As it has been this year. How about for you?
Oh, it's been amazing. It's almost like a circular economy just for data centers and associated businesses that are feeling problems from grid stability.
Yeah.
Which Clarke is an international business. We've had a lot of experience in Europe and now in the US.
Yeah.
We're 8 years into the US. So it's really well put together. Lots of great leaders, great events.
Yeah.
And it's been amazing for Clarke. We're really happy to be part of the event.
Brilliant. Okay, so speaking of Clarke, for our viewers that don't already know, why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself?
Certainly. So Clarke Energy started in the UK as a service company. And then started building projects for clients. We started with something called cogeneration, which is basically large gas engines. That is what we offer to the market. Could be one, could be multiple, where we basically try and maximize the efficiency by recovering the heat and using the heat in a facility to offset either boiler heat or cooling. And so that's how we started. And then we've expanded out to 29 countries now, Clarke, where we build projects, what they call EPC. We provide the equipment. So in essence, we're a solutions provider end to end. And then we have our own installation team. We have our own engineering team. We have our own startup and commissioning team. We do training for customers, and then we'll do the operations and maintenance for a customer. So it gives a customer a nice solution, very much de-risks a solution. And then we'll provide performance guarantees on the back of the system. So the system we've supplied, we guarantee that it works.
So many things that I want to jump into.
I sometimes wonder how Mr. Clarke actually sleeps at night. We're taking on having such risky projects in so many places, but he's still got a smile on his face.
Yeah, man, and that whole risk mitigation piece of what it is that you guys do is so valuable right now, because I would venture to say that somewhere between 40 and 50% of the people who have been in your seat had at some point said risk mitigation is a big priority to us.
It is, and nowadays power is becoming a big problem for people too, with aging infrastructure in the US. The sizes of these projects for data centers, particularly when I was a young lad growing up, a large data center was probably 10 to 15 megawatts.
Yeah.
Now you're seeing gigawatts, even 2 gigawatt data centers, with the rise in AI. And back in the day when you owned a computer, say you had a piece of software, you'd buy the software. It was sat on your hard drive. Nothing's sat on your hard drive anymore. It's all up in the cloud.
Yeah.
And where's all that stored? It's stored in a data center.
Yeah.
And the data center needs reliable power. And as more and more of them get adopted, they're starting to find problems with the grid to supply this power. And that's where Clarke comes in.
Yeah.
Clarke can build on-site hybrid energy solutions for customers. We try and de-risk it by giving turnkey solutions and providing the operations and maintenance. And we're a North American business. We're also in other countries. What we've found from our experience in Europe, where something similar happened to what's happening here 10, 15 years ago, with the grid becoming stressed, with the over-adoption of renewables, which are intermittent power supply, with our reliable solutions, we can help support the grid, we can help support customers. And nowadays, you're putting in a new electrical supply connection to a utility, they're having to build infrastructure, they're having to get through permits. It takes them a while, whereas we can build a power solution in 18 months to 2 years for a customer, which helps them with their bottom line. de-risking the solution and then helping with their operations and maintenance.
So let's talk about that grid stability or instability, as it were. I for as long as I have been paying attention, when things go down, they go down. It's not something that, whereas it feels like, 20, 30 years ago, if power was out, it was out for a couple of hours, maybe tops. Now it could be days or even weeks. So that grid instability or grid stability has been an increasing problem, particularly here in the States.
Yeah, and that is very true.
Yeah.
And obviously the infrastructure needs to be built out. The infrastructure is old, but particularly for data centers, that's a big problem.
Yeah.
A data center can't. They can't. Having a grid outage for them is detrimental to their business, right? So the traditional supply for data centers would have been the utility.
Mm-hmm.
They have their data center load. They'll have UPSs, and then have 100% backup diesel supply. So they have what they call 3 nines to 5 nines of reliability. But now you take the utility away, what do? So having multiple engine solutions with M+1, M+2, we're trying to give them a reliable solution. Other technologies like battery energy storage is something that we also offer. And battery energy storage used to be a technology that utilities adopted to ride through peaks and troughs and for grid support. Well, you can take that to the smaller level now at the customer side, where you've got AI loads, which are very peaky and troughy. The grid itself can have problems supplying that. But then when you've got an off-grid solution, how do you meet the needs of that load?
Yeah.
And the way that we're offering that is by having battery energy storage.
There's a fly once again in our interview.
Yeah, battery energy storage with multiple gas engines.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're even laying in a bit of solar to help decarbonize and introduce sustainable solution. And then again, with the one-stop shop approach from Clarke, de-risking the solution for the customer and then bringing the solution on as quick as possible in a reliable, code-compliant fashion.
Yeah. Again, that speed to delivery and implementation is something that I'm hearing a lot about right now. But I want to get into some trends. And I also like this kind of like hybrid nature that you're kind of coming at the solution with, because to me, from a trend perspective, that's something that I probably would like to see more of as somebody who's paying attention to the industry.
Yeah, and having a one-stop solution provider, when you're looking at these different sources of what they call in the market distributed energy, on-site generation with different sources like solar, like wind, like battery, like engines, integrating those and making those work together is where really Clarke comes into its own. Having the controls, having the in-house experience with integrating those solutions is important. Solar's not very good at nighttime, right? It's very good in the daytime when it's sunny. A cloud goes over a solar array, you may reduce the output. So having this integrated solution, but then obviously solar is great from a renewable standpoint. When you try and look at these holistic solutions for what makes sense and putting a green twist to it is what we're all about trying to achieve for our customers. And obviously, as these data centers get so big, they're all getting benchmarked on their emissions. So having this type of hybrid energy solution versus just a diesel solution or just a utility solution is something that we're seeing, to your point on trends. Data centers and other large energy users are trying to go towards. The other piece of that is they can be very expensive. Right. So another side of the fence is we have some great partners that will offer to finance these solutions for customers.
Interesting.
And that way they're not trying to put X amount of dollars out of their own pocket. They're still being able to get the solution, and Clarke will work with our finance partners and then provide an energy solution to the customer, which they can realize without always having to put capital out of their own pocket.
That breaks down a huge barrier.
It certainly does. It brings its own intricacies too.
Yeah, I'm sure of that. Yeah,
it's also something that we're seeing more and more that's being adopted in this space. Because some of these projects are getting very expensive because they're getting very large. And then getting through the permitting regulations and all that kind of stuff, that can get costly.
And you all handle that as well?
We handle all of that too.
I see. Yeah.
It's the one-stop shop approach. trying to de-risk the projects,
Mhm.
and then now we're going to the next levels with some of our finance partners. We're trying to de-risk that financially a bit too, but
Awesome.
also giving reliable power to the end user.
Mhm.
May it be a data center, may it be a hospital, may it be even a utility. Because
Mhm.
some of the projects we're doing now are getting very large.
Yeah, interesting. Vishnu, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
Of course. Let's have a safe flight back, shall we?
Let's do that.
Let's do it. Okay. And thank you, viewers, for watching JSA TV. We'll see you real soon.
Thank you.